Greetings luxe lovers, welcome or welcome back. Here we believe in intentional luxury and we're not afraid to invest in pieces that will work for us. So if that resonates with you, then please consider subscribing and stay a while. Well, the time has come for me to do one of the most popular YouTube topics for bag lovers around, and I'm so excited to share my entire Hermes bag collection with you. I've basically purchased one bag a year from the boutique since I started shopping there in 2018, and call me old-fashioned, but that seems like a reasonable pace, if not a little too much given the cost of these bags. Compared to some other luxury YouTubers, I have a tiny but mighty collection that I'll walk you through and give you a little story time behind each. I'll go in the order in which I purchased them, so grab a drink of your choice and let's begin. So the first bag that I ever purchased from Hermes was in 2018, and it is my Birkin 35 in the Birkin Faubourg leather in the color Fauve with palladium hardware. As you can see, this is a pretty big bag for my small frame, and I've done some videos on big bags for me, but this is such a classic. This was a rare case of me walking into the store on a random day in August. It wasn't very busy, and I was talking to the sales associate, who's still my sales associate to this day, and I was convinced that the size Birkin 35 was the one for me. And amazingly, he actually offered me one, and I took it because I couldn't get it out of my mind. But as you can see, this is the most beautiful color. It's kind of definitely getting lumpy and bumpy based on what's in it. But as you can see, I still have a lot of the stuffing in here. And for those of you who know about the Birkin Faubourg leather, it's a bit of a step up from the typical leather. And as you can see, the Hermes is not stamped in foil, but it's like embossed. So we'll put this here. The next bag I got from the boutique is this Kelly 28 in Togo leather in the Etoupe color with palladium hardware. So this now was almost a year after I got that one, a little less. It was in May 2019. I was just starting to transition from my life in consulting into industry. So this to me like signified that transition. I also did a whole video on this bag as my pick for if I had to pick one bag for life. I think it's very versatile and actually holds a good amount considering its size. Now, as you can see inside, I have the straps that can go on it, and I don't actually even have a insert for this one. It's weird, like some bags I have an insert, some bags I don't, but this one is a great size, holds a lot, and it just goes with everything. The next bag I bought from the boutique is this Evelyn TPM in blue nuit and gold hardware. I got this around, I think, August of 2020. Now again, this is after lockdown, and I think the stores were just opening up, but I had seen so many reviews online about how useful this was. It comes with the fabric strap, and this gold hardware is beautiful. In my prior video about kind of like the makeup launch items that I returned, I used those funds and applied them to this. And I have loved this ever since. I think this is a great mom bag, and it is by far one of my most used handbags. Here is the button closure, and if you can see inside, I do have a matching insert, which is also blue on the inside. So when you see the perforated holes in the front, it's just blue and back of blue. But I've used this so much that I think I've mentioned in the past that I've straight up spilled a matcha latte on this. And the leather still looks great. So that's the kind of quality that we're all looking for in one of these handbags. The next handbag I received from the boutique is my Birkin 25, also in blue nuit, in Togo leather and palladium hardware. So as you can see, I was on a bit of a blue streak here, and I got this in April of 2021, and this was to celebrate us expecting our second child, and this was also purchased around my birthday in 2021. So there was a lot to celebrate with the purchase of this bag. I was definitely visibly pregnant at the time that I was shopping, so maybe that was part of the consideration of why I was offered this, but I was so happy to get this, and the experience was actually great. I was able to book an appointment before the old Hermes store even opened, which was amazing. So I was able to shop the store with my SA, and other patrons were also in there, and I was able to leave with my B25 as the doors of the store were opening. And as you can see, I do have an insert in here, and there's no visible insert lines on the bag. And if you wanted to compare, here is the blue nuit in Clemence, and this is the blue nuit in Togo. And if you're enjoying yourself so far, I'd love for you to consider subscribing. I love pulling together these types of themed videos with close-up shots, mini reviews, and Hermes tips. And on Instagram, I enjoy posting Hermes public service announcements. When I see rare items on the Hermes website, I'll post them in my stories. And new subbies, I'd love for you to say hi in the comments so I can give you a proper welcome. All right, let's get to the rest of my bags. And my next bag from the boutique is my Constance Mini in noir Epsom leather and gold hardware. Now, what's funny is I got this in January in 2022, and my theory is that maybe after all of the holiday shopping has died down and people are just like all spent out, maybe that's a good time to pounce on some bags. So this one, I think I emailed my SA like early in January, and then literally maybe a week or two later, he was like, all right, your bag's here. So that was pretty amazing. Or maybe at that time, Constances weren't as in demand, but I do love this bag. I get a ton of use out of it. This I've had in one of my most used handbag videos. And so I have the older version, not the one without the little divider on the inside. So far I haven't had much issues with opening it. I haven't really scratched anything. I do enjoy having a twilly on this, even though it might be a little overkill. But I love this because I do love a good crossbody bag, and also that it could become a shoulder bag too. So here's a nice picture of my kind of BKC situation. Now the next bag I want to share is actually my first and only Hermes bag purchased from the pre-love market, and it is my Evelyn PM in the Birkin leather. Now this one is definitely vintage. I bought it pre-love from a seller in Japan, and I believe it's Birkin, but I guess I could be convinced that maybe it's box leather as well. I basically saw a version of this online on like say gilt.com, and it slipped through my fingers, and ever since then I regretted not purchasing it. So I literally trolled all the websites for this particular bag, and I finally found it in Japan. And what's even better is that it has the gold hardware, which I think the other one had the palladium hardware. So I think the warmth of the gold tone goes really well with this, especially since I have my fauve Birkin with the palladium. This was a nice change up. I forget what the date stamp is, but I have talked about it in prior videos. I want to say it's like either 10 or 15 years old. As you can see, this is also the first generation of the Evelyn. It doesn't have that back pocket, and personally, I'm like totally fine with that. I kind of like the smoothness. On the inside, I do have a Samorga organizer in this, and because I think this is such a good mom bag, I do wear this to places like movie theaters where I want to sneak in some soda or snacks. So I definitely don't baby this bag, and it's nice because I feel like because it's already lived a life in a way that I don't have to be too precious with it, where I'm definitely a lot more precious with the other bags. But this was such a great addition, and I'm so glad that I found it on the pre-love market. And while I wasn't able to get a quota bag earlier this year so far, I was invited to create a special order earlier this spring in 2023. I definitely feel like I was offered this special order bag because I had purchased a really nice fine jewelry piece and also a beautiful watch. And I'll link my video above about my theories about how to get a special order. But basically, I feel like the special order process was offered to me kind of like as a reward for all those other things that I spent on. However, even after putting in a special order, I was definitely jonesing for a bag, and I was able to get this next bag from my SA also around the March timeframe. And it's my in the loop bag in the smaller size in the color baton with gold hardware. Now this is actually from one of my most viewed videos on this channel when I first got this, and it is just so beautiful. As you can see, it's a top handle carry, and also it has the beautiful gold hardware. This Shandunkra hardware I absolutely love, and you can bring it together using the hook and the loop closure on the other side, and it then just becomes a beautiful gathered bag. Again, I love this motif. I like this design a lot better than the picotin. There's just something about it that's a little more my aesthetic, and I also really like that it has the Shandunkra pattern on the bottom with the extra leather reinforcing the bottom of the bag. And in the original unboxing video of this, I also talked about a way that you could secure like a twilly or a detachable strap to both the hardware here and the loop here to make it a crossbody bag. So there's lots of options here as well, although I do hope that someday they'll make a strap that goes along with this. So that's it. I probably won't continue down the road of an Hermes bag a year because frankly, I just feel like that's not really sustainable. But I do know that my special order will come eventually, and I do have my sights on one other particular quota bag. My psychic did tell me I have another one coming soon, so maybe this will be the first year I add 2 bags to my collection from the boutique. So thank you to those who've stayed with me to the end. Let us know in the comments if you have any of these bags too and how you like them, or if any of these are on your wish list. I welcome you to follow me on Instagram if you'd like to see more of how I style these bags in my day-to-day and other luxury moments. If you've enjoyed this video, I invite you to go down the rabbit hole that is my Hermes tips playlist, and I'll put that link here. Please like it if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!